Oxford's animal shelter has been the center of controversy for years, but now it is finally ready to usher in a new era. The latest on the Oxford Animal Resource Center coming up.
Local and federal officials are cracking down on Family Dollar after the rat infestation at a distribution center. We'll take a look at the latest developments.
This is the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine.
President Biden and other Western leaders officially announced their sanctions on Russia as Putin's forces increase their numbers in eastern Ukraine. The details on Western response are straight ahead. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Annabelle Kinney.
And I'm Leah Blevins. Since Governor Tate Reeves signed the Mississippi Medical Marijuana Act into law on February 2nd, cities and counties across the state have 90 days to opt out of allowing medical marijuana dispensaries. The Lafayette County Board of Supervisors scheduled a public hearing to discuss this opt-out provision for 5 p.m. on March 7th at the Lafayette County Chancery Building. If the board votes to opt out, dispensaries will not be able to open in the county. But patients who hold card issued by a physician to use marijuana for medical purposes can still possess it after receiving it outside of the county.
The newly renovated Animal Resource Center in Oxford is now open and ready for visitors to come and see or adopt a furry friend. The new center was previously owned by a private company that was shut down in March 2021 due to mismanagement and animal neglect. The center is now city-funded and encourages the community to come check out its new renovations. Walk-ins are on a first-come, first-served basis, but appointments for adoptions are highly recommended. You can also find animals up for adoption on the OARC website. The building is closed on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Court-appointed Special Advocates for Children, fondly known as CASA, recently announced the expansion of their services to Lee County. This expansion prompts the name change from CASA of Lafayette County to CASA of North Mississippi. The biggest need for this expansion is due to the rapid increase of the demand for advocacy in North Mississippi. There are more than 3,800 children in foster care in the state of Mississippi. On average, 10 children come into the foster care system every day due to neglect and abuse. As CASA expands, the need for volunteers has become greater. For more information on CASA or volunteering, you can contact Director Aaron Smith at 662-832-4747.
Family Dollar stores across many southern states, including Mississippi, are temporarily closed after this weekend's rat infestation. Action News 5 reporter Parker King has a closer look.
The Family Dollar Distribution Center in West Memphis delivers products to stores in 11 states, including Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee. But products stored in this facility from January 1st, 2021 to present have been voluntarily recalled by the company, with hundreds of stores temporarily closed after a shocking discovery was made by the FDA.
Here you go, friend. You want some chips?
This is video sent to Action News 5 from a former Family Dollar employee showing rats throughout the distribution center. Internal records from Family Dollar show around 2,300 rodents were collected between late March and mid-September of last year. Now the FDA is asking customers who have shopped at Family Dollar recently to contact a healthcare professional.
Were you expecting what I told you?
No. But I knew it was something.
Anita Donaldson is a Memphis resident and regular Family Dollar shopper.
I done passed about 4 or 5 of them and they weren't open.
I normally would just come to this store. So knowing that happened, I'm like, I'm sad.
Among the products the FDA lists as potentially being contaminated with salmonella include food, cosmetics, and over-the-counter medicine. Family Dollar said in a statement, quote, "We take situations like this very seriously and are committed to providing safe and quality products to our customers. We have been fully cooperating with all regulatory agencies in the resolution of this matter and are in the process of remediating the issue. Regardless of how long it will take to get past this situation, shoppers we spoke with say this doesn't impact how they feel about Family Dollar.
Are you the same? Does that affect your opinion of Family Dollar?
No, because I mean, I go to all of them, and it's convenient, you know, when you can't get to certain stores and stuff, and it's right there.
I like Family Dollar. They got reasonable prices, and it's the reason why I come there, you know, so I hope they get it resolved.
Family Dollar is telling all of its stores that receive goods from the West Memphis Distribution Center to remove certain contaminated products from their shelves.
In coronavirus news, COVID-19 case numbers are staying low on campus. Today, we have a total of 6 active confirmed cases here at the university, 2 active student cases, 3 active staff cases, and 1 active faculty case. Across Mississippi, the State Department of Health reported a little under 1,900 new cases from Friday through yesterday.
Coronavirus cases, hospitalizations, and deaths continue to drop across the country, but new vaccinations and boosters has stalled as well, prompting U.S. health officials to consider recommending a 4th dose of the vaccine this fall. CNN's Mandy Gaither has the latest.
In the war on COVID-19, the U.S. is heading in the right direction. The new daily case count down 42% since last week. The FDA is continually monitoring data to determine if or when healthy adults could benefit from a 4th COVID-19 shot.
Many of us expect that in the years to come, we will have yearly doses of COVID vaccine, the same way that we do for the flu vaccine.
Countries like Israel and Sweden are already offering a 4th shot of COVID-19 vaccine for older adults. In the U.S., an FDA official says a 4th dose could happen this fall. Right now, the CDC has no recommendations on 4th doses for the general public, but their updated guidelines seem to suggest it's a good idea for some who have weakened immune systems to get a 4th shot of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine.
People who are immunosuppressed should be going and getting a 4th shot because their bodies are less able to produce that protection that the rest of us have.
Right now, about 65% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated. 28% have gotten a booster, but the pace of vaccinations is the slowest it's ever been. Health officials say there needs to be a continued focus on raising those numbers.
We need to get the third of Americans who haven't even gotten their first 2 shots, we need to get them vaccinated. And then of those who received their first 2 shots, older folks, people who are age 50 plus, should be going to get a booster today.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A fall booster would roughly align with when annual flu shots are administered. Respiratory viruses like the flu and coronavirus tend to peak in the winter.
The League of Women Voters of Oxford, North Mississippi will hold a special series of open, public conversations discussing the state of democracy in the U.S. next month. Each session will be 1 hour long and will address a specific concern that currently threatens democracy in the U.S. and will feature an opening speaker who is an expert on that session's topic, as well as an invited moderator to facilitate participant interaction. Among topics to be discussed are voter suppression, gerrymandering, threats against elected officials, and manipulation of the Electoral College.
While we're on the subject of speeches, the University of Mississippi will host its 7th annual TED Talk series tonight at the Ford Center, featuring 8 exciting speakers. Richard Balkin, Maria Brito, Jacqueline Tobias Simmons, Michael Fagans, Michelle Hanlon, and Megan Rosenthal will all explore the theme of new avenues and collaborate about what people, communities, and organizations are doing to maximize their outcomes. The event starts at 7 tonight, and tickets are free but must be reserved through the Ford Box Center office.
The 2022 Oxford Film Festival has officially announced the lineup for its 19th annual edition. The schedule includes 118 films representing 18 countries, including 38 features, 67 short films, and 13 music videos. According to the interim executive director, Jim Brunzell, the program was built to include discovery titles, award winners, and global festival favorites that will inspire those in the Oxford and neighboring Memphis area to immerse themselves in the Oxford Film Festival world once again. The festival will be held in person March 23rd through 27th and virtually March 27th through April 3rd. You can find the full lineup at oxfilm.com.
The Oxford Police Department and Gateway Tire Center kicked off a program earlier today to prevent catalytic converter theft. The program came as a response to the recent rise in catalytic converter theft across the country. The program engraves identifying markers on these converters so that stolen parts can be spotted if they are sold. The service is free to Gateway customers moving forward.
A federal jury handed down a verdict in the hate crime trial of Ahmaud Arbery today. We'll have a look at the conclusion of that trial coming up. But first, here's a look at your current conditions.
Hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened?
Your friend's not breathing.
Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
Vladimir Putin's recognition of 2 Ukrainian separatist states as independent nations and deployment of troops to those territories triggered Western leaders to impose heavy sanctions on Russia today. But despite the sanctions, President Biden and others don't expect the Russian president to stop anytime soon. CNN's Isabel Rosales has the latest from Washington.
Alarm and outrage from world leaders.
This is the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine.
President Joe Biden following through on promises of more severe sanctions. 2 large Russian financial institutions sanctioned. Russia's government cut off from Western financing. The U.S. will also sanction Russian elites and send more troops to Baltic states to reinforce NATO.
If Russia goes further with this invasion, we stand prepared to go further as with sanctions.
Russian military vehicles spotted along the border with eastern Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin formally recognized 2 Russian-backed regions in Ukraine as independent states Monday, ordering his troops there in an alleged peacekeeping mission. The U.S. is refuting those claims.
He's setting up a rationale to go much further. This is a flagrant violation of international law and demands a firm response from the international community.
Swift condemnation from NATO allies.
Moscow has now moved from covert attempts to destabilize Ukraine to overt military action.
The United Kingdom freezing the assets of 5 Russian banks and 3 oligarchs. Russia's biggest gas customer, Germany, suspending progression of a key gas pipeline. Ukraine's president says he believes there will be no war with Russia, but cautioned his troops will be prepared. Diplomatic efforts continue, but prospects grow dimmer by the hour. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
Russia's aggression isn't only making waves in the international community, it has its effects on campus as well, especially for Ole Miss student Igor Makarov, a native of Ukraine.
Of course, I am deeply concerned about my parents because they're there in Ukraine, and in case something happens, I don't know what would they do. I'm not sure whether I can get back.
For now, Makarov is scheduled to return home to Ukraine at the end of this semester.
National news, a jury delivered guilty verdicts on a federal hate crime charge to all 3 men involved in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery almost 2 years ago. CNN's Chris Wynn has more from the trial's conclusion.
Justice for Ahmaud Arbery! Justice for Ahmaud Arbery!
On the eve of the 2nd anniversary of Ahmaud Arbery's death, the 3 white men who killed him were found guilty on all counts in a federal hate crimes trial.
I, as a mom, will never heal.
Tuesday, Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan were convicted of interference of rights, a federal hate crime, and attempted kidnapping. The McMichaels were also found guilty of an additional firearms charge for using and carrying a firearm during a crime of violence.
They gave us a sense of a small victory, but we as a family will never get victory because Ahmaud is gone forever.
The jury found that the men attempted to chase Arbery and attempted to unlawfully confine him using their trucks as he jogged through their neighborhood outside Brunswick, Georgia in February 2020. Arbery's mother relieved with the verdicts after the judge rejected an earlier plea deal agreed to by prosecutors.
They didn't have a son that was lying in a cold grave.
All right, come on.
And they still didn't hear my cry.
All 3 men could now receive sentences of up to life in prison and heavy fines for the federal convictions. They're currently serving life sentences after being previously convicted of murdering Arbery in a separate state trial, although they have said they plan to appeal.
No one should fear that if they go out for a run, they will be targeted and killed because of the color of their skin.
I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Even though it's been 2 months after Kentucky's devastating tornado outbreak, the death toll is still on the rise. A 33-year-old woman died from her injuries, bringing the death toll to 80. She was pregnant at the time of the tornadoes, but the baby unfortunately died just 3 days after she gave birth. The series of tornadoes back in December proved to be one of the deadliest tornadoes in Kentucky history.
The Supreme Court is once again tackling a case regarding businesses' rights to refuse service to same-sex couples. A Colorado graphic designer who creates wedding websites says she doesn't want to work with same-sex couples because of religious objections. Lori Smith runs a company called 303 Creative. She wants to put up a web page explaining why she won't create websites for same-sex couples. But a page like that is illegal under Colorado law.
And the financial battle for U.S. soccer and U.S. women's national team has finally come to a close after an ongoing dispute over equal pay since March 2019. The two came to a collective bargaining agreement, which states that U.S. soccer will pay $22 million included in the case. Another $2 million will be given to an account in support of players' post-career aspirations and charitable efforts for girls and women's soccer. Both men and women's national teams will be paid equally for matches and tournaments going forward.
And coming up in sports, Coach Joe and the women's basketball team will be back on the hardwood tonight as they take on a tough Arkansas squad. And Coach Kermit Davis and the men's hoops team will have their hands full tomorrow night against a top 5 opponent. And I'll have that and more up next in sports.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter, a college student,
a mother, and I am an American soldier. I will always be ready
for every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
I just found out my work party is a +1. You want to go? This is my boss, Ella.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
You're welcome. Nope, I'm high. But I'll clean the kitchen while you're gone.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
The baseball team is scheduled to square off with Arkansas State today at 4 p.m., but a forecast calling for thunderstorms forced the decision to move the game to tomorrow at 1 p.m. This will be the 113th all-time meeting between these two teams. The Rebels come in at 3-0, and the Red Wolves are still seeking their first win of the season. Fans with parking passes for Lot H and Lot ADA may park in Lot H for tomorrow's game only. All other parking lots on campus will be available on a first-come, first-served basis, and the gates will open at noon. Now taking things over to the hardwood, the women's basketball team is set for an important conference matchup with Arkansas tonight. The Rebs got their 20th win of the season and improved their conference record to 8-5 with a victory over Vanderbilt this past Sunday. The team will rely on defense and rebounding in their push to get the W tonight. Ole Miss has out-rebounded the opposition 17 times this season. Arkansas has been with a 6-7 conference record, and they're the best three-point shooting team in the SEC. The Rebels will need to close out shooters in order to stop the Razorbacks' high-octane offense. Tip-off from the Pavilion is tonight at 6 p.m. And the men's basketball team is also preparing for a pivotal matchup. They will have a big test tomorrow night when they go on the road for a contest with number 3 Auburn. Ole Miss will be going up against an Auburn squad that can get it done on both sides. The Tigers have the 3rd highest scoring offense in the SEC, and they are the first team in the country in blocks per game. And for the Rebels, look for them to lean on senior Jarkel Joyner to facilitate the offense. Since coming back from injury, Joyner has been a force offensively with a slick handle and a smooth three-point shot. Tip-off for tomorrow's game is at 7:30 p.m. Tune into the SEC Network to catch all the action. And the women's rifle team has been on target all season, and their hard work has paid off. The team earned the number 5 seed in the upcoming NCAA championship, which will be held from March 11th to 12th at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado. The team finished an impressive regular season with a 10-3 record, and they fired 5 of the top 9 scorers in program history. The Rebs will lean on standout performers Lee Horvath and Claire O'Neill to score highly in this postseason and propel the Rebs to a national title. And ending things off with some track and field news, Ole Miss collected 3 awards in this week's SEC Weekly Awards, bringing their total to 8 for the indoor season. Junior pole vaulter Lindsey Reed won the Women's Field Athlete of the Week after breaking her own school record at the Arkansas qualifier last Friday. And the Women's Runner of the Week award was given to the Ole Miss Distance Medley Relay team after setting a new school record, and the Men's Distance Medley team was awarded the Co-Men's Runner Award of the Week after an impressive performance at Notre Dame. This week, the team is off to Texas A&M for the SEC Indoor Championships, which will take place on February 25th and 26th. That's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, rebel_watch, for the latest sports updates.
Carson, Mountain Dew has been in the energy drink game for years, and now they're moving into a new business. Find out what the soda has in its sights coming up on NewsWatch.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Anytime they're playing music downstairs, it's loud. I go downstairs, see what they're doing, see what music they're doing, see what they're dancing to. I go play piano downstairs, they come get involved. Leah has a drum set beside it, banging that. Any music, that's what they do.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hard seltzer fans, a new product is coming your way. Introducing Hard Mountain Dew. The alcoholic version of the popular soft drink hits shelves in Tennessee, Florida, and Iowa today, but Pepsi plans to expand sales to more states later this year.
Pepsi partnered with Boston Beer Company to make the caffeine-free beverage. Hard Mountain Dew is 100 calories and 5% alcohol by volume. It comes in 4 flavors: Baja Blast, Watermelon, Black Cherry, and Original. Well, if you're above age, that sounds like a great drink.
Absolutely. Exciting news for Mountain Dew fans everywhere. Carson, what's your favorite Mountain Dew flavor?
Probably Baja Blast.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Well, I'll have to take a trip to Tennessee, grab a case, and let you know how they are. Breaking news about the weather. There is now a tornado watch until midnight tonight, so stay in if you can. That's all for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Leah Blevins.
And I'm Annabelle Kinney. You can find us on social media at NewsWatch Ole Miss for the latest updates on Ole Miss and beyond.
Thank you, and good night. Thank you. I sounded like I was getting off a customer service call.